I made my dream of owning a business by the time of 25 come true. This was my dream since a small kid, and it was actually happening right there in that moment. That March, I did $104,000 in revenue. It's the dream of so many to be able to walk into work and tell their boss that they are done. So why doesn't everyone do this? Everyone hears about the feel good, I quit my job and now live a dream life story, but there's a cloud of mystery surrounding actionable steps to accomplish this. In this video, I'm gonna give you 3 actionable steps to get closer to your goal of quitting your job. But you're probably wondering, who am I? So first, I'm going to give you the foundation of my journey. It all started when I was 13 years old. I told myself by the time I was 25, I would run a business full time. That Christmas, I received a gift card to Barnes & Noble. With it, I bought a book on HTML and CSS and started making some very simple websites for local pizza places. That was the very start of my entrepreneurship journey. Once I graduated high school, I attended Illinois State University to get a degree in information technology with a minor in business, but that doesn't really count. I graduated from Illinois State and moved to downtown Chicago, where I acquired my first job as a junior software developer, making $50,000 per year. Although this was a huge achievement in my life, my goal of owning a business full-time by the age of 25 never dissipated. Every little bit of income that I earned, and I mean every bit of income I earned, went towards investing in self-taught knowledge in different ventures. Between the years of 2015 and 2017, I launched a total of 5 online software startups. All of them failed. Every time something failed, I blamed it on the product itself. I thought that I needed to create a better product and customers would just eventually come. I would restart from scratch, come up with a new great idea, spend months building it, and then once again, watch it fail. It was a pretty frustrating time in my life, but I was learning from my mistakes as I went. As someone who's only making $50,000 a year living in downtown Chicago, trying to start a business was not an easy feat. I knew that if I truly wanted to make something work, I needed to start earning more. Since I studied information technology, I didn't have the true core knowledge of a computer science degree, and I didn't want to earn $50,000 per year continually and maybe getting a 2% yearly raise. So I knew I had to do things differently. I then did the same thing I've done my entire life and taught myself I needed to know to get a higher paying software developer job. I dove into books, YouTube videos, online courses, and different ventures into creating my own software. After several months of self-teaching and developing new skills, I was able to acquire a job as a software developer at E-Trade. At E-Trade, I was making around $110,000 in total yearly compensation. It was a big jump because I had more than doubled my original income. Around that same time, I stumbled across a book that you've probably heard of or even read at this point, The 4-Hour Workweek. In this book, Tim talked about the possibilities of starting your own brand around a single product. This is really what launched my venture into e-commerce, as I realized the tremendous amount of opportunity in this industry. Within a week of reading the book, I had created my own line of private labeled headphones called Brain Farm. Luckily, I had only ordered 50 units because I ended up seeing how difficult and saturated the headphone market really is. I was able to recoup my $1,000 investment by selling the remaining headphones at a discount to family and friends. Mark that down as another failure. At this time, I was 24 years old and I only had 1 year left to achieve my goal of owning a business full-time by the age of 25. With the determination that I've had since that kid developing websites for pizza places, I invested my entire savings at that time of $12,000 to launch more private label products under the name Brain Farm. Here's a quick look at my daily schedule at that time. I'd wake up at 5 a.m. and work until 8 a.m. I'd then commute to work and do my job at my 9 to 5. I would then commute back home and eat dinner, work from about 6:30 p.m. to midnight, and then go to bed. I repeated that same schedule every day for months. I was focused on creating the best possible product that I could. I launched my new private label brand, Brain Farm. The result? I lost all $12,000 invested. I even went negative since I hired multiple consultants who promised to generate me profitable sales. That was the biggest failure yet that I had experienced in terms of loss of my investment. It was truly heartbreaking. I was so discouraged that I thought about giving up on my entrepreneurial dreams and just continue progressing in my corporate career. Then I stumbled upon the business model of dropshipping. I learned you could launch a brand with no upfront product investment. That truly amazed me since I just lost $12,000 on product investment. In the coming months, I got excited. I created a Shopify store, which unfortunately failed, and then I created about 10 more, all of which failed, and I ended up losing a bunch more money on Facebook ads. Although there wasn't that upfront product investment, there was the investment into Facebook advertising. I was listening to all of the gurus promising overnight success with Shopify, and I eventually thought it was all a scam. I thought my dreams of running a profitable business were just that, dreams. At that same time, I knew that I had spent the past 10 years of my life building a wide array of skills that would go to waste if I gave up and just settled for my full-time job. So I had to make a decision, and that decision is what changed my life. December 13th, 2018. On that day, I declared 3 months from that exact date, I would quit my job at E-Trade and go all in on entrepreneurship. Family and friends all told me I was crazy for leaving a 6-figure salary for something that I had never found success with. They definitely had a fair point, but I was determined. Inside, I knew I had the skills to do this. I was just missing something. I also knew the only way to find that missing piece was to put my back against the wall and make something happen. Then it happened. The hundreds or even thousands of hours that I had dedicated to learning e-commerce led me to the book Ogilvy on Advertising. It was written by David Ogilvy, a pioneer in direct response marketing. What it taught me is that you can have the greatest product in the world, but without great marketing, it will fail. It hit me like a ton of bricks. That was my missing piece. Back on that schedule of early days and longer nights, I read countless books and watched hundreds of videos that taught the foundations of direct response marketing. In February of 2019, I built a new brand around a single product, applied my newfound knowledge of marketing with Facebook ads, and that month, my business did $50,000 in revenue. Along came that date of March 13th. I walked into that office that day feeling like I was walking on clouds. Saw my boss walking down the hallway and I called her over. We went into a side office room. I said, I'm actually going to be leaving the company. My boss then asked the questions, where are you going? Is there anything we can do to keep you? And that was when I was able to say the sentence I had dreamed of since a small kid. I'm actually leaving to become my own boss and run a company that I built full time. She asked me if there was anything they could offer that would make me stay. I politely responded, there's truly nothing anyone could offer me at this time that would make me consider staying. I had great coworkers and it was a great company and overall great experience. So it wasn't anything was wrong with my job. It was just, I was actually about to accomplish my dream and no offer could have changed my mind right then. My heart was pounding with excitement. I made my dream of owning a business by the time of 25 come true. This was my dream since a small kid and it was actually happening right there in that moment. That March, I did $104,000 in revenue. April, I did $110,000 in revenue. And the success continued. Just this past December, one of my businesses did $189,000 in revenue in just 30 days. It's truly insane to think that just over a year ago, I almost gave up on the goal that led me to the place I'm in now. It changed my entire lifestyle and opened up so many doors for me. And this is the point where throughout my journey, I failed a lot. But it was through that failure that I learned everything I needed to know to become successful. Over the past week, I've spent a lot of time reminiscing and thinking about the different failures and learning experiences I've had, trying to compile the 3 most important aspects that I can teach to you right now in this video. Number 1, create your own definition of rich and successful. When I was young, I envisioned success in being rich as nice cars, fancy homes, and a surplus of money. My definition of success and riches was based on movies, TV shows, and social media. What I've learned is that for me, my definition of rich and successful can be summed up with one word: freedom. The freedom to wake up and do what I love to do every day, which is create. Go spend time with family and friends whenever I want to. I can hop on a plane tomorrow and go to a different country for a week or 2. Freedom is my rich and successful. You don't need $1 million and a Lamborghini and a private jet. You don't need anything close to that. You just need to build a business that covers your basic necessities and allows you to break free from that 9 to 5. Step 1 is to create your non-material definition of rich and successful. Come up with an exact number that you need to make per month to cover your basic necessities. Coming up with that definition and that number is going to give you a clear goal to work towards and track your progress along the way of your journey. Step number 2, pick one skill in business industry and become an expert in it. By becoming an expert in an in-demand niche, you will always have a business. The biggest mistake that I made was spreading myself too thin and trying to learn too many skills at one time. The result, I was very average in all of them. Once I dedicated myself to learning how to build direct response marketing around a product, I found success and was able to quit my job. The amazing part of me becoming an expert in this skill is even if one of my e-commerce businesses completely died tomorrow, nearly every existing business needs some form of direct response marketing. I have a skill that will always be able to cover my basic necessities. Step number 2 is to pick one thing and stick with it. You will suck at the start, but 6 months from now, a year from now, you will have a skill that will always bring you business and allow you to live your new definition of rich and successful. Step number 3, solve one problem at a time. Don't try and solve all of the world's problems with your business. Pick one problem and build a reliable solution. Looking back at all of my business failures, I realized that the reason that they failed is I tried to solve too many problems at one time. This resulted in software and products that really didn't help in much of anything. There are 7.5 billion people in this world. Solving a single problem can build an incredibly successful business. Here's an example. As phones grew in size and weight, they became much more difficult to hold. Someone identified this single problem and created a product called Pop Sockets. In 2017, Pop Sockets LLC sold 35 million Pop Socket grips. In 2018, they sold 60 million. In 2018 alone, Pop Sockets LLC's revenue was over $200 million with a profit of over 90 million US dollars. If they would have tried to solve phone grip, battery life, and cracked screens, they would have never built the profitable business that they have today. Step 3 is to identify one problem and build a reliable solution. That sums up the 3 actionable steps that I have for you today. I hope that you found some value in my journey, learning about my failures, because it is very easy to become discouraged in the process of trying to accomplish full-time entrepreneurship. I still face ups and downs today. The difference is I know to stick to these 3 steps that I just taught you. And by doing so, there is success in that new definition of rich and successful at the end of all the hard work I put in. If you are interested in learning about what I do full-time, which is e-commerce and Facebook advertising, I have over 60 in-depth tutorials here on my channel completely free. Please don't forget to hit that like button. It's greatly appreciated. 2020 is going to be an incredible year, and it's the perfect time to really go for the goals that you have set for yourself. I wish you all the best. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Dylan out.